right, time for an instant reaction as the Niners trample Seattle with a dominating second half. In fact, I am taping this with 3 minutes left in the game. That's when you know it's a blowout. The first half looked a lot like I thought it would. I thought Brock Purdy was a little tight, expected for his playoff game. Before today, the last 9 rookie quarterbacks who played their first playoff game were 1-8. He was a little tight. Shanahan maybe have been a little more restrictive than normal in the play calling. But, couple series, I wrote down some notes here by the third series. He got his legs under him. He was confident. He was slinging it. He had composure. And the second half was just a relentless Niners attack. This morning I'm looking on the internet, and I don't even know why the media would put this out there, but, we do what we do. That, Tom Brady, the Niners, there's some potential discussions. I'm not sure. And again, an off-season looking at Brock Purdy film, maybe people see all sorts of weaknesses. He doesn't have a power arm. His throws to the sideline, he doesn't have a whip. He's not Herbert. He's not Mahomes. But he's basically free. He's more mobile than a Garoppolo or a Brady. Totally coachable. Very competitive. Go look at what Iowa State has done since he left. Iowa State won a lot of football games for the 4 years he was starting. They were a disaster this year in the Big 12. And that's with a good coach, Matt Campbell. So he obviously has an impact in winning and production and momentum. Listen, when is the last time the Niners had this level of production at quarterback in the playoffs? It's 10 years ago. It's Kaepernick. Garoppolo's not mobile. Kaepernick had a couple of years there when he was running around and making the Packers miss. You didn't know what you had. You really didn't. You thought, are we looking? I was fooled. I was like, this is different. Tall, lean, fast, strong, power arm. Now, Brock doesn't have a power arm, but this offense does not demand you make a lot of difficult down the field throws. It's not what it demands. That's my first takeaway, that I think Brock Purdy is really unique. Now, maybe this is a lightning in a bottle. It's a magical run. We have an off season and people figure him out, but I don't know. I like what I see. Second thing is Deebo Samuel, John Middlecoff, who's on the Volume 3 and Out podcast, had a great tweet. He said, Deebo Samuel's like Draymond Green. The biggest games, tell me what matters, and he comes in like a heavyweight champ. Deebo Samuel has been such a physical, crucial Niners player in these big, tough playoff games. He has such an impact, just his physicality. When you watch the Niners, there's been a lot of physical defenses through the years, and there certainly qualifies. But between Deebo and Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, I don't remember a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end on a singular team that played with that kind of physicality. They are a complete handful. I don't think anybody matches up with the Niners outside of maybe Philadelphia in the trenches. Listen, Pete Carroll's a really good coach. And at halftime, have you seen the stat this year? Or it's 12 or 13 teams that have played San Francisco the following week. They either lose or don't cover the spread. Didn't Seattle look beat up midway through the third quarter? They looked beat up. Even that late hit at the end of the first half by the Niners, which was a really big mistake, gave Seattle a field goal. It's just the way they play. 1 inch from out of control. So the second half, I just didn't expect that. The weather was not as bad as everybody was forecasting. I went and looked up 2 days ago the Bay Area weather, and it was really bad this morning. Wasn't bad by the end of the first quarter and was fine in the second half. So there's just, and listen, Geno's been a great story, but don't confuse great story with great player. Geno Smith is limited. Seattle's got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a third, and 2 fourths. They're going to draft a quarterback. Probably get Chicago's not going to draft a quarterback. They're not going to take Bryce Young, I doubt. So that'll leave Houston to take a Bryce Young. Seattle's got a Denver pick. Does somebody fall in their lap? Certainly possible. They'd prefer to get a corner or an edge rusher, but it wouldn't be a mistake getting a quarterback for Seattle with one of those picks. Geno's been a great story. He's not a great player, not a great quarterback. And my takeaway on this is what San Francisco did today to beat a team, a playoff team, a third time, a borderline Hall of Fame head coach, and to beat them like that. that last half of football for the Niners was just wow. And, circling back to Brock Purdy, I really like his decision-making when he rolls out. There's a lot of quarterbacks, when they move out of the pocket, their accuracy dips, but he resets his feet. He's got really good quick judgment. He has what, I always loved Sam Darnold, but Sam had really poor split decision judgment. Purdy's got so many college starts, and he's obviously been well coached at college and now the pros. He's got really good split-second judgment. He knows when to fold them. He knows when to dirt it. He did that once. He knows when to throw it. For a rookie, he's got really good snap judgment over and over, because there was some pressure, especially in the first half, from the interior of Seattle's defense. He resets his feet. He sees the field. There's a lot I like. Some of these guys, like a Taylor Heineke, you see them and you come to terms very early with, that's not it. That's not somebody you're going to build around. Listen, you gave up a lot of picks for Trey Lance, right? You gave up nothing and won't have to pay Brock Purdy for 3 or 4 years. I can see this organization sticking with him. I'm trying not to overreact here. 4 touchdowns. Mobility, judgment, accuracy. Man, he's good. He's a good player. He is a good football player. The physicality, McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, the play calling. You get smart, you get power, you get speed, you get smart. That second half is just jaw-dropping. It's hard to do that in the playoffs. You don't roll people like that. You've played a third time. Seattle knows everything they're going to do. You're not fooling anybody the third time you play them in the postseason. Congrats to the Niners. That was a wow. That was a wow. Instant reaction. Talk soon.